Today we're going to be talking about the genre Contemporary Realistic Fiction. And we have two books here. We have Junie Jones and the Stupid Smelly Bus by Barbara Park, and it's illustrated by Denise Brunkus. And then we have How Do Dinosaurs Go to School by Jane Yolen and Mark T. Hannah, can you do me a favor and describe this book cover for me?
Well, I see a blue sky, I see a girl plugging her nose, and I see a school bus, and yeah.
So she looks like she's going to school?
Yes.
What about this one?
Well, in this one I see a huge dinosaur, he's happy, trying to wear a backpack in a classroom with super tiny kids.
So Hannah did a good job at explaining what these two book covers have. She explained some more details for you. I want you to take a minute and look at these two book covers that Hannah just described for you and think which one of these could really happen today. Which one could happen? A dinosaur going to school or a little girl going on a stupid smelly bus? Yeah, you're right. Junie Jones is realistic. And the reason why Junie Jones is realistic fiction is because it could really happen. A young girl could go to school today, but a dinosaur could not. Because one, they do not exist anymore, and two, he's just too big. It's a little silly. So why is realistic fiction important?
Yes, realistic fiction is important because children are able to relate to the characters' problems, or the setting of the story. For example, this book, Now One Foot, Now the Other, the author is Tommy DePaulo, is about a little boy and his grandfather. They have a really strong bond, and one day his grandpa has a stroke, and the boy isn't really sure as to how to react to him because he can't communicate, he can't talk, he can't walk, he can't eat. So the little boy sticks by the grandpa's side, and eventually the grandpa gets better. I'm going to read this section from the book. It says, "Then Bob stood up very slowly. 'You, me, walk,' said Bob. Bobby knew exactly what Bob wanted to do. Bobby stood in front of Bob and let Bob lean on his shoulders. 'Okay, Bob, now one foot.' Bob moved one foot. 'Now the other foot.' Bob moved the other." So children can really relate to this because this is a real problem that could occur in a child's life. So as we saw in that book, Now One Foot, Now the Other, realistic fiction books can portray problems that children actually are going through and may face in their life. Alyssa, are there any other characteristics of this genre?
Some other characteristics of this genre are they have believable settings, realistic problems, and they're kind of like a snapshot of society. And a misconception about this genre is a lot of times people think it's a true story, but it doesn't have to be a true story. It can just be a story that can happen. It's just realistic. So this genre is categorized by a whole bunch of different categories. I was supposed to say organized. Okay, so the first category of this genre is animals, and these are about books that are a bond between humans and animals, and Because of Winn-Dixie is our example for that one. The second category is humor, and these are just books that make kids laugh, and we have Ramona Quimby by Beverly Cleary for that one. Mystery books are another one, and these books help children problem solve and help with critical thinking. And we have Sammy Keys and the Killer Cruise for that one by Wendelin Van Draan. And then we also have problem novels as another one. These books are usually about disabilities, illnesses, death, peer pressure, abuse, divorce, anything tough that kids go through. They can find a book to relate about. So this one is When My Parents Forgot How to Be Friends, about a divorce. So there are also some other categories.
So the next category is school and family novels. These types of novels describe struggles at school and home children may face. So for example, Frindle, written by Andrew Clemens. This is a common book kids read as a class in middle school age because it really relates to them. So the next realistic fiction category is called serious novels. These novels are about kind of fitting in and finding yourself and finding acceptance. For that example, we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which a lot of people know about, written by Jeff Kinney. The next category is about games and sport focused. And for that, we have Home Ice Advantage by Tom Earl. And the last category is survival and adventure. These kind of describe, like, they're usually set in the wilderness, and the characters usually face problems relating to the outdoors, relating to the wilderness. And for this, we have Holes, written by Louis Satcher.
Okay, so we just talked about all the categories of our genre, and as you can see, there are a lot of them. So now we're going to discuss how we determine if a book is a good example of this genre. And to do that, we found 2 books that we chose to read to you guys, and we're going to talk about different characteristics of these books and have you guys decide which one fits in our genre better. Do you want to start?
Sure. So my book is David Gets in Trouble by David Shannon. When David gets in trouble, he always says, "No, it's not my fault. I didn't mean to. It was on accident. Do I have to? I forgot." He forgot his pants. "My dog ate my homework. I couldn't help it. I was hungry. But she likes it." Doesn't look like she likes it. "It slipped. But Dad says it." "Excuse me." "No, it wasn't me." "Yes, it was me. I'm sorry. I love you, Mom."
And the book I chose is The Diary of a Worm. March 20th. Mom says that there are 3 things I should always remember. The earth gives us everything we need. When we dig tunnels, we take care of the earth and never bother Daddy when he's eating the newspaper. Today I tried to teach a spider how to dig. His legs got stuck. Then he swallowed a bunch of dirt. Tomorrow he's going to teach me how to walk upside down. Worms can't walk upside down. Fishing season started today, so we dug deeper. I forgot my lunch today. I got so hungry that I ate all my homework. My teacher made me write, "I will not eat my homework 10 times. When I was finished, I ate that too. I snuck up on some kids in the park today. They didn't hear me coming. I wiggled right up between them and they screamed. I love it when they do that. Grandpa taught us that good manners are very important. Today I said good morning to the first ant I saw. There were 600 more in line. I stood there all day. I had the worst nightmare last night. Giant birds playing hopscotch. Mom says I have to stop eating so much garbage right before bed. I got into a fight with the spider today. He told me that you need legs to be cool. Then he ran. I couldn't help it. Maybe he's right. I made the spider laugh so hard that he fell out of his tree. Who needs legs? Last night I went to the school dance. You put your head in, you put your head out, you do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself about. But that's all we could do. Today we made macaroni necklaces in art class. I brought mine home and we ate it for dinner. My older sister thinks she's so pretty. I told her that no matter how much time she spends looking in the mirror, her face will always look just like her rear end. Spider thought that it was really funny. Mom did not. When I grow up, I want to be the Secret Service agent. Spider says I will have to be very careful because the president might step on me by mistake. It's a dangerous job, I told him, but someone's got to do it. 3 things I don't like about being a worm. I can't chew gum, I can't have a dog, and all that homework. 3 3 things that I like about being a worm: I never have to go to the dentist, I never get in trouble for tracking mud through the house, and I never have to take a bath. It's not always easy being a worm. We are very small, and sometimes people forget that we're even here. But like Mom says, the earth will never forget we're here. The end.
So now looking at these two books, we're going to look at the main character. In my book, the main character was David. So I'm going to write David. What was the main character in your book?
My main character was just a worm.
Now we're going to look at the settings that the book took place in. So where was it? Looking in David's book, David gets in trouble. He gets in trouble in the house. He also gets in trouble outside. So I'm going to put that he was outside and at his house. Home, outside. Where did yours take place?
In my book, the worm spends a lot of time at home, underground.
So we looked at the main characters in both our books and the settings, and now we're going to look at the storyline. So in my story, David got in trouble a lot, but he realized at the end that he doesn't like making his mom upset, and he does things that he shouldn't be doing. So he realizes he has to be careful and apologize to his mom. So the lesson that we learn from this one is that he's a troublemaker, but he learns to apologize and not make trouble anymore. What happened in your book?
My story was more just about what happens every day for the worm. There wasn't really a story, and there wasn't really a lesson that he learned, so I'll just write it was his diary.
Alright. Looking at these books, I'm going to say that I enjoyed mine. Do you enjoy your book?
I did enjoy my book.
So we both enjoyed our book. So I'm going to write, yes, I enjoyed my book. And Alyssa enjoyed her book too. So as we look at our answers and we can compare them, which one do we think is more realistic? David getting in trouble or the worm diary? So now looking at these two books, we've decided that David is more realistic because this could actually happen. A worm doesn't have a diary, a worm doesn't write, and a worm doesn't do half of the things he does in that book. It's just a silly, fun book. But we enjoyed it. But when it comes to evaluating whether it's a good book, a good quality book for our genre, it depends on the situation. It depends on the person and if they enjoy it, if they can relate to it, and if it has a successful storyline.